Hey guys, EBPMAN here, and in today's video we're going to talk about the first 10 things you should do when you pick up your Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra. These tips will apply to the entire S21 line, and I've been using mine now for several days, and I wanted to share with you the things that I configured first. They're going to give you the best experience. Let's get right to it. Now, the very first thing we're going to turn on is the battery percent. Don't know why it's off, but it's really important to all of us. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take my finger, I'm going to swipe from the top down, I'm going to go into settings, which is that little cogwheel. I'm going to click on the magnifying glass to search, and I'm going to type in show battery percent. As soon as you do that, and I have a little shortcut here, all you have to do is go into the option that says show battery percentage, and when you tap on that, it's going to take you specifically to that area and it's going to highlight it. So you'll notice here that the show battery percentage is off. I'm going to flip that on, and now I see my battery percent. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go and turn on dark mode, which is going to increase your battery life. So watch, I'm going to use two fingers and I'm going to swipe from the top down. And when I swipe down, what you'll notice is that everything here is in white with the calendar date, but there is a little widget here, or a toggle. I'm going to swipe over and you see where it says dark mode. I'm going to enable that, and what's going to happen is everything is going to go dark. It's easier to read in my opinion, and it also saves your battery. Now the next thing we're going to do is enable some gestures, and these are going to be common gestures that you use all the time. So what we're going to do is we're going to swipe down with a single finger, we're going to tap the actual little setup icon, and then we're going to go into the magnifying glass, and then we're going to type in gestures. Now you'll notice it has gestures, swipe gestures, block gestures. It has all these different type of gestures. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into motions and gestures. And here you're going to see a lot of options here. So it's under advanced features. You're going to choose motion and gestures again. And you'll notice that you have several features that you can enable. And I'm going to highlight the ones that I always enable. So one of the things that you can do is enable lift to wake, which means that if you enable it, when you pick up your phone and it's off, it will automatically turn on. So that's a cool feature to have. The other thing that I have enabled is double tap to turn on the screen and double tap to turn off the screen. So if you just want to take a look at what's going on your phone and you don't want to actually grab it and power it up, all you do is go knock knock on the screen and it will display, and you'll be able to see the time. You'll be able to see if you had any text messages or calls, and you tap twice to turn it off. So that's a cool feature. The next thing that I will turn on is palm swipe to capture. Right, so that is if you swipe your hand over the screen, it will do a screen capture for you, and that's something else that I always enable. Now, the last thing that we'll do is the keep screen on while viewing. So what this will do is as you're looking at your phone like this, it will basically stay on. If you have that off, the timer that's on your phone will turn off the screen. So if you have a 30-second timer, it will just turn off. But if it sees you seeing it, it will keep it on. Now, one of the things that happens when you install applications on your phone is you get toggles that are unique to that application, and you may not have access to all of them. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at how the toggles work. You're going to take both your fingers, you're going to swipe from the top down, and then what we're going to do is we're going to go into the three dotted area, right? And then you're going to choose edit buttons, right? So I'm going to choose edit buttons. Now, when I edit the buttons, you'll notice that a little panel came up, and it's showing me some options that are not currently located on the bottom of the screen. And as I swipe around, you'll see that we have, let's say for example, scan QR code, you have Bixby routines, music share, focus mode. Well, as you add applications, more and more get added. And what I did is I grabbed one that wasn't there by default, and I'm going to swipe on the bottom, and you'll notice that I have Dolby Atmos. That's our next tip. The next tip is you can actually add toggles. You can also rearrange your toggles, but one of the most important toggles for me is Dolby Atmos, because once you turn that on, let's go back into it, and it turns blue, you're going to get the best audio experience when you're using your phone, watching movies, if you're looking at anything on YouTube. It just makes it a lot better. Now, the next thing we're going to cover is how do you have the best possible experience when using your Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra from a power perspective. So we're going to do a single finger swipe down, we're going to go into settings, and then what we're going to do is scroll down all the way up to the area that is battery and device care. We're going to click on that. Now what it's going to do is it's going to look at your background check when it comes to applications. It's looking at your storage, and it's looking at your memory, and you have the ability to optimize. What optimization will do is it will clear out any apps that are using up memory, using up battery, and get your phone in tip-top shape. You notice that you can have 100% as the top score. I'm getting 91 out of 100. Well, there's more that you can do here, and what we're going to do is we're going to tap on the upper right-hand corner on those three icons, and you notice that there's some automation. So we're going to go into the automation, and when you go into automation, there are a couple things, and you notice I have all these on. So you'll want to turn them on. First, you can optimize daily, right? And when you do the optimize daily, what's going to happen is it's going to clear up or close up all the apps at whatever time you define. And I have it right now configured to do it at 3 a.m. So every morning at 3 a.m. it's going to go ahead and clear it up. And you'll notice that it's also going to close apps to free up memory. So I have them both enabled. Now the other thing I do is I also do an auto restart. So every day, or actually every Thursday, my phone reboots itself to give it the best performance always at 3 a.m. when I'm asleep. So the rebooting is also going to keep your phone nice and fresh. The last one that I have enabled is adaptive power saving. And what adaptive power saving is going to do is when you're not using your phone, if you have your phone laying on the desk or you haven't used it for an extended period of time, it's going to slow down the phone to conserve battery, right? So it's really looking at your usage patterns and then slowing down those activities or those features that aren't really needed during the times that you don't use the phone. Now the other thing that I do also is you notice this optimize button. Well, you can actually press it and optimize, or if you click on those three dots again, you could basically add that icon to the app screen. Right now it says hide because I've already added it. Let's go to the app screen really quick. You'll notice that I have this little broom. I'm going to click on it. It's going to sweep. And what it's doing is it's clearing the memory out. It's closing out any unnecessary apps and it's optimizing the phone. So if you ever find that your phone is sluggish or going a little bit slow, just hit that little icon and you're set to go. Now this next tip has to do with the screen. And when you look at the screen, you know what, you have to face it. Those icons are ginormous. They're taking up a lot of space. So what do we do about that? Well, if you press and hold on the screen, you can go into the actual settings. And when you go into settings, you have the home grid style. So I'm going to choose home grid. And home grid, it's right now 4x5. I can change it to 4x6, or what I prefer, 5x6 or 5x5. You could also do a 5x6. I'm going to choose it, change it to 5x5. I all of a sudden have more space, and the icons are going to get a little bit smaller. So now take a look at that. Look at the difference. You know, that's a lot more manageable, and you have more space. Now the next tip about this screen is that one of the things that may drive you nuts is sometimes when you put your phone in your pocket, sometimes things move around and you lose icons, you lose widgets. So what you do is you press and hold on the screen. You're going to go into settings again, and then you're going to choose lock home screen layout. When you do that, what will end up happening is nothing on the screen can be moved, nothing on the screen can be removed. It gets locked in place. If you want to add an icon to the screen, all you go is back into the settings and then uncheck that lock the home screen, and you're good to go again. Now here's another tip for you Midwesterners. So Chicago, we've got snow. It's snowing right now. We've got a lot of snow outside, and we tend to wear gloves. And how do you use a phone with gloves? Well, you want to increase the touch sensitivity of your phone so that it can accommodate gloves. So I'm going to swipe down with a single finger. I'm going to go ahead and choose the that little cog button again, that little setup button, and I'm going to type in the word touch sensitivity. I'm going to go into it. Now, under touch sensitivity, you'll notice at the very bottom, you have that little on and off. When you enable that, it's going to make it more glove friendly. It's also going to make it more screen protector friendly. So I have a Whitestone dome glass screen protector on this, and it's now made it more responsive to touches, even with that screen protector on. Now, the other thing that we have in this same area, in the display area, is the nav bar. So if you go into nav bar, you could have, maybe you have the swipe gestures on, and if you have the swipe gestures on, you may be looking for your traditional buttons, the back button, the home button, the multitasking button. Well, by default, it comes with the swipe gesture model. But if you would like to go back to the old school of doing things, you can actually choose that. And then you can also choose the order in which you want the icons. You can have the back button further on the right, or you can have the back button on the left, depending on, if you're lefty or righty. So great options to configure, but I do encourage you to try out the swipe options. They work pretty cool too. Now, if you notice with the power button, when you press and hold it, sometimes it launches Bixby, and maybe that's not what you want. So this is what you do. We're going to take a single finger, and we're going to do two swipes. So we're going to do 1, 2 from the top, and then what we're going to do is tap on the power button that we show up there. You're going to choose side key options, and here you can basically determine what that button is going to do. So notice right now, I have if I press it twice, double times, or 2 times, it's going to give me the quick launch of the camera, which I want. But on the bottom, I'm going to switch it from wake up Bixby to actually power off menu. So that way I have choices. I can reboot my phone or turn it off. So guys, I hope those first 10 tips, and I think I probably gave you a couple extra ones, are helpful to you. We have more tips and tricks coming for the Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra. I'll see you in the next one.